When I think of the last 4 years and how God has been working in my life, it's amazing to see all that He's done for me and how He's working to really glorify Himself through my life. About 4 years ago, I felt like He was leading me to apply for a PhD program at MSU, and this in and of itself was terrifying for me. I never imagined myself going to grad school. I always thought I'd be a stay-at-home mom, but that wasn't working out. So He kind of led me in a completely different direction, and I applied because I felt like that's what He wanted me to do. But I told Him I wasn't going to go unless He provided the funding for me. And He decided to do me one better, and He provided the funding for the program, and I get a stipend. And on top of that, my advisor is a Christian woman who has just been such a blessing to me because she understands where I'm coming from. I can tell her that I'm here because God brought me here, and that doesn't make me sound crazy to her. So that's just beyond amazing and such a huge blessing. And in the first 2 years of my program, I was able to supplement my income with various childcare services. But this past spring, I really felt like I needed to focus on my studies, and so I decided to quit the job that I was in so I could just focus on the assistantship that I was doing and my studying. Felt really comfortable about it and at peace, and then August kind of started to roll around, and I realized I had given up about a third of my income, and I was going to have more expenses due to rent and other things. And on top of that was also the pledge that I'd made for the Changing Lives campaign. And I felt like I'd kind of whittled everything down, and there was nothing else I could do, but it was going to be really tight. So I fretted over it for a few days and realized that I just needed to give it over to the Lord, and I felt that I'd done everything I needed to do, so I just needed to trust Him. And within a couple of weeks, I was approached to do some part-time consulting work for a research association, and I was going to be making about the same amount of money and also getting some really great experience in the program that I'm doing. So it's just amazing to see how it's so much more than like the financial blessings that He's given me. It's about me realizing I can't do this by myself and handing over all of the control I'd like to keep and giving it to God. And just how He's blessed me through all of that and how He's glorified through all of it. I was reminded of a lesson that we did in youth a couple of weeks ago where one of the main questions was worry or worship. And it asked us to read Philippians 4:6, where it says, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything through prayer and petition with thanksgiving, present your requests to God." And I realized that it's not really a question of worrying or worshiping, but it's a question of turning your worrying into worship, that acknowledging that the things that we worry about are because we want to control them, but that by releasing that control over to God, we are able to worship Him in such a magnificent way by saying, I can't do this, I need you to do this for me. And He is able to work awesomely through that.